Hello everyone, it's Jill Whalen here again with another live or recorded video depending upon when you watch it. I know I've been saying that like every time now. So today's video is about, it's a question for you. Did you know that you could be anxious and still be present to whatever situation's happening around you? And it's sort of something I am new to experiencing. It seems sort of at odds, right, with the whole idea of anxiety, where anxiety is often, usually, I guess, a head full of thoughts. At least that's how I've experienced it before, where my head is just full of thoughts, and that trigger the chemicals in my body and make my body feel the symptoms of anxiety. That's how I've generally experienced it throughout my life. But so it seems like if you have a head full of thoughts, that how could you be present at the same time? But what I've seen for myself, I've experienced this just recently, where I was in a situation where I was definitely anxious, and my body was on high alert due, there was stuff going on around me, that, and I had a lot of thought about it, I guess, scared thoughts that created the chemicals in my body. And so my body was feeling anxious. And I was having some anxious thoughts, but I also was very present. I felt present to the situation. I was on high alert, let's say, because the situation was uncertain and I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was it sort of could have been a volatile situation, which required, in a way, presence more than anything, in fact, which, I believe was the best thing to do, was to be present, because then my own peace, my own presence of mind, my own wisdom could come in with what needed to be done in the moment under those circumstances. But I was finding it interesting during this whole situation, where I was noticing, obviously, how anxious I felt in one respect, and yet also how alert and aware I was of what was going on around me. And so that was really interesting. And I also could feel that, that I would know what to do when, if necessary, as the situation required. And so it's kind of a lesson, in a way, to know that, right? Like, oftentimes we think when we're full of anxiety that we just can't do anything, or that we can't be present to the situation of what's going on around us, or at least that's the story we tell ourselves, right? We're feeling so anxious and all these physical symptoms from it, and we think we can't do anything because of that. It's just not true. It's just not true. We can be present and anxious at the same time. I've experienced it, and I'm not, and there's nothing, I didn't do anything to make it happen that way, but it's just the way it was for me. And I think it's really important to know that, because that way we don't have to let anxiety stop us from doing what we want to do, and from being present in general in life. Just because we're anxious doesn't mean we won't be present and aware. They're not mutually exclusive. So that's it. I'll end this here, and catch you next time. Bye.